Good morning, Charlamagne.
Good morning, Angela Yee. Peace to the planet. It's Friday.
It's Friday. Thank goodness. What a week.
What was so exciting about the week for you?
It was a lot of work for me this week. Just a lot. I went to New Orleans yesterday and came right back last night. So I went to New Orleans to teach.
That's not never a good time.
Yeah, I went to New Orleans to teach a class at Dillard University. Shout out to everybody in the class. It was about hip hop. But it was a great class. But you know what? The On the Run 2 tour was in New Orleans last night. So on the flight there were a lot of people that were actually flying out to New Orleans to go to the concert.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was in and out of New Orleans. And I never have done that before there because I like staying there for at least a day. Because they have like some of the best food.
Hey, they got great food. You got Bourbon Street. You can go down there and get drunk. Salute to everybody that listens to us on Q93 in New Orleans. Drop on the clues bombs for them.
I considered missing the flight by accident.
What are you handing me right here, Drum? What is this? This paper says it's an iHeartRadio world premiere of Gucci Mane featuring Bruno Mars and Kodak Black. Wake Up in the Sky. We're playing at the top of every hour during the show. Wow. Gucci Mane getting the DJ Khaled treatment?
Look at that. Bruno Mars is on the record.
See what happens when you get your mind and your body right, people?
Kodak Black. I like little. That's what we saw Kodak Black and Bruno Mars in the studio together. So I guess that's what they were working on.
When you start glowing up so much that people think you're a clone, iHeartRadio plays your song every hour on the hour during the show. That is incredible.
All right.
Okay, that's a good way to start a Friday. Also, we got a couple guests this morning. We have Judge Faith Jenkins. She'll be here again.
I really like Judge Faith Jenkins.
Oh, everybody does. Mm-hmm. Guys be lusting over Judge Faith Jenkins in a way that I've never seen before.
Yeah, I like it.
I posted the tune-in video on my page yesterday, and everybody's just like, oh, my God. Heart emojis. Escape.
Oh, wow.
Not just 3 of them, because you know Candy thinks she's too good to be with them.
Oh, don't say that.
60% of the time.
She goes on the road with them. She's just not doing the album.
They're announcing the So Def tour, right? What is it, 20 years?
I think it's been announced.
Oh, it's been announced?
Yeah, it's not.
What is it, 20 years,
you just
25
announced
years?
it if they didn't.
How many years has it been?
I think it's 25 years. Is that right?
Yeah, they're all going on tour, and they'll all be here this morning.
All number 1 songs they're going to be doing on this tour.
Yes. All of Escape. And Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah. Yes, it's a 25-year anniversary reunion for them.
And we got front page news coming up next year.
Yes, we are going to talk about Hurricane Florence and the effect that it's having in the Carolinas already. Also, Jeff Bezos, you know him as the world's richest man, worth more than $160 billion.
I call him Jeff Pesos.
We'll tell you what he is doing right now, a philanthropic effort that he has.
All right, now, let me do this professional. Let me read it off the paper.
Where's Envy?
I have no idea. Where is Envy? It's a good question.
On the way?
It's an iHeartRadio world premiere of Gucci Mane, featuring Bruno Mars and Kodak Black. Wake Up in the Sky. We're playing at the top of every hour during the show, and you heard it here first, right here on the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. That's a new, improved Gucci Mane, featuring Bruno Mars and Kodak Black. Wake Up in the Sky. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee. I don't know where the hell DJ Envy at. Turn your mic on, Yee.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
He's on the way.
Yes, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. I dig that Gucci Mane record. Okay, in a minute it's going to be too cold for that record, though. All right?
Here.
Yes, here, at least in the tri-state. Now, we got front page news. What we talking about?
Let's talk about Jeff Bezos and his $2 billion philanthropic effort. Now, you know Jeff Bezos as the CEO of Amazon. Well, he and his wife announced that they are going to help homeless families and also start preschools in low-income communities. Those preschools are going to be Montessori-based preschools. And he talks about the importance of day one and basically how you have to have that mindset to everything that you do from a day one outlook. And so he asked for suggestions on Twitter of what he should do philanthropically with all the money that he has. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the initiatives that he is going to be doing. He wanted to find out some ideas for charitable donations. Other things that he's done is donated $33 million to the Dream.us. It's a nonprofit that gives scholarships to dreamers. He also donated $10 million to Political Action Committee that supports military veterans running for office.
He got enough money to buy everybody a trailer or something, too. You could buy a bunch of land and buy all the homeless people a trailer, something to live in.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, though, as far as education and preschools, because we all know that what happens early on in kids' lives can really affect them so much later. So,
that's a fact. I still need a place to stay, though, especially if I'm homeless. I mean,
right. Well, he's working on that also.
It's going to be hard to focus on education when I ain't got no place to sleep.
That's just part of the initiative of what he's doing with this $2 billion.
Congratulations, Jeff Bezos. Pesos.
All right, so I think that's a great thing. So now let's talk about what's going on with Hurricane Florence. Hurricane Florence has hit, and they're saying it's 90-mile-per-hour winds, life-threatening storm surges. They're saying that today it's going to be flash flooding, pounding wind. Make sure you check if you have any flights that you think you're going to get on. There's more than 1,300 flights that have been canceled along the East Coast. They're saying almost 200,000 homes and businesses are without power in North Carolina as well.
And salute to all my people in the Carolinas. I be getting, I was ignoring a lot of my phone calls yesterday.
Why?
If it wasn't like my mom or my dad, because I get dumb ass requests. Like I got a homeboy, salute to Pooh. Pooh called me like 3 times in a row. I ain't pick up. So then he finally texts me, 3:26 p.m. You know what it says?
What?
Can you stop this hurricane, bro?
He wanted to chit chat. Maybe it's a little nerve-wracking.
That's a legit question. Can you stop this hurricane, bro?
Well, can you?
No! I'm not talking to you.
All right, and here's another unfortunate situation. There were homes in 3 towns north of Boston that went up in flames. This happened yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw this on the news, but they're saying there's more than 60 suspected gas fires. They're still investigating, so they don't want to speculate what happened to cause these explosions, but they did say before the fires broke out, the utility company that services the area announced they would be upgrading natural gas lines in neighborhoods across the state. Now, the blazes left 8,000 people unable to go home yesterday, and they're saying that some of the schools were closed as well, and they did open up a middle school in North Andover and a senior center for evacuees, but about 25 people, including 2 firefighters, were wounded, and unfortunately one teenager actually was fatally wounded. He was sitting inside a car with his friends when a house went up in flames, exploded, and the chimney flew and crashed into a nearby car that the teenager was sitting in.
Yikes. That's some Final Destination type stuff.
Awful. So
Jesus Christ.
they shut down the power in 3 towns right now north of Boston. About 18,000 people are without power. All right, well, that is your front page news on this Friday.
All right, you feel like venting this morning? Huh? 1-800-585-1051. Call us, get it off your chest, whether you want to, vent, tell us your frustrations, or if you just want to call up here and tell us how blessed you are.
You can order that iPhone today, too.
No, I'm cool on that. Why? Why do you need a new iPhone? Well, you know what? You are going to need a new iPhone. Let me shut up, because iPhone going to have this one acting up by Monday. By Monday,
mine's already acting
iPhone
up.
10 will not work.
My phone just started acting up 2 days ago. It keeps on, every time I touch something, the whole screen goes black and then comes back.
See what I'm saying?
Every time I go from...
What did I say yesterday? I said the phone's going to start blacking out. They're not even trying to hide it no
Literally.
more. iPhone not even trying to hide it no more. They're like, okay, we announcing new phones. We want y'all to go get your new phones. So either you're going to go get them on your own or we're going to make you by making your phone act up. This is disgusting. As soon as this thing asks you for a new update, it's over. Once you update it, it's a wrap. It's over.
Let me order my new phone.
Get it off your chest. Call us right now. It's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club.
Wake up, wake up, wake your ass.
This is your time to get it off your chest. Whether you're mad or blessed, we want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Good morning. Can you get it off your chest? Who's this?
Good morning, Breakfast Club.
Hey, good morning. Who's this?
Jason.
Jason.
What up, Jason? How you, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed. I'm just looking brighter and brighter every day. Every day is optimistic, and I can't wait to see the future, I want to buy my mother a house in a few years, and everything's looking good, man.
Well, I understand the context of what you're saying, but you started off the conversation saying you're looking brighter and brighter every day. So it makes us wonder if you're bleaching. That's what they say about me.
I'm not bleaching, man. I'm not bleaching.
Oh, okay.
So he's not literally brighter. He's figuratively brighter.
Got you.
Well, I'm still tired. I'm driving to work right now. I had to wake up pretty early, so I'm, Well, today is National Cream-Filled Donut Day, so stop by Dunkin' Donuts and get you a nice cream-filled donut, bite into it, and let it gush down your throat, okay?
Wow. All right.
Jesus Christ. Jeez. Charlie.
What's wrong with y'all?
You just ruined his whole
Talking about
day.
eating a donut.
That's pretty
graphic.
Weird, dude.
It felt like some Freaky Friday softcore porn up here on The Breakfast Club.
Well, it's also also National Eat a Hoagie Day, so go get you a nice long 6-inch hoagie.
Okay.
Put that in your mouth.
Well, we both prefer 12-inch, but...
Oh, okay. Have a good day, sir.
Good morning. Who's this? Get it off your chest.
Good morning. This is Anonymous.
Uh-oh.
I would like to say that when an Uber driver tells you that the ride is over, the ride is over. Please act professional, especially these kids, because they have no professionalism when it comes to overnight drivers.
Oh, because it's the entitlement and the privilege. You know that.
Wait, what do you mean when the ride is over, it's over?
But my thing is, I shouldn't have to call the cops. I shouldn't have to lose my temper. Well, I didn't lose my temper. I was very professional, but my blood got boiled a little bit. But with my professionalism, I was able to call the cops and have them escorted out of my vehicle.
Why wouldn't they get out?
They wanted to go somewhere else.
They still fought to stay, which I don't understand because I wasn't taking her anywhere. But she said it was her right, and I had to take her home. No, I don't have to take you home. Once you break that boundary of respect and professionalism, and I'm a young black man, no, I'm not taking you anywhere. You got to exit the vehicle, you know.
So why didn't he just? I wonder why they just didn't order another trip.
That's all they had to do. Get out. But they were drunk. They wasn't understanding. And the cop, he pulled out his cuffs. He started jingling them. I thought he was going to arrest her. I don't know what was happening, but I was definitely not riding with him.
Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that, sir.
No, it's cool. Long story short is I'm a designated driver. I'm trying to get people home safely in the city of Boston. Just respect me. If I say the ride's I'm not comfortable and the ride's not cool, just get out the car.
I'm not getting out your car. I'm not getting out your car.
Stop it, Charlamagne.
Did you, so you canceled the ride?
Oh, I canceled the ride. The cops had to be called. They came. He escorted them out. I reported it. Uber didn't say nothing to me. They said, they're going to ban them for me. They're never going to put them back with me, which I expected that. I thought it was going to be a little worse. They were going to go down and get police support because they think they're privileged. But the day went through and nothing happened. I worked last night. Everybody got home safely. So,
well, blessings to you, my brother. Enjoy the weekend, man.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I love you. Have a great morning.
Love you too, bro.
I wonder what my rating is on Uber. Because, they rate us, too.
I didn't realize that. I actually just saw one of my homegirls, Suta Rachel. She was having this challenge all summer where she was trying to get a 5-star rating. I just realized that the drivers rate you, too. And she'll be in the car acting all nice to the drivers. Hello, how are you today? Are you okay? Which is weird, by the way.
You know what I don't like? When I send an Uber for someone else and they act rude, and that affects your rating.
If I was a driver,
I got some rude friends.
If I was a driver and you jumped in the car acting all nice to me late at night, I think you're trying to set me up. You're trying to line me up to rob me. But that's just me and my paranoia.
We know.
Now, get it off your chest. Call us right now if you want to vent or if you just want to tell us why you're blessed. You want to let us know that gratitude is indeed your attitude. Call us right now, 1-800-585-1051. It's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club.
This is your time to get it off your chest, whether you're mad or blessed.
So you better have the same energy.
We want to hear from you on The Breakfast Club.
Good morning. Get it off your chest. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Don Trell from Southwest.
Southwest.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to tell y'all that
I'm a guy, sir. Angela E's a ma'am.
Yeah, I know you there.
You could be a ma'am, too. It's equality.
No. How are you, sir?
I'm good. With me and stuff, it didn't go like that. She said she wanted to do it on her own, so I knew what was up from there.
You know why I respect that, man? Because I always tell people if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Like, you don't jump back into a relationship and all of a sudden become a good man. You got to do that when you're, even on your off days like you was.
My thing is, man, I had a car before. She got into a wreck in it. I was in school, like, all of this stuff. Like, so if anything, if I was down, it was because of her. I just wanted her to ride through the, hard times with it.
Well, let me tell you.
At least you done stepped up your whole life, though, so that's good news.
Yeah, let me think of something cliche I could tell you.
You got a nice new apartment. You done stepped it up, so you ready. You ready.
Yeah, and if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, it's yours.
Man, I don't think she gonna come back. She talking about she got a new friend, which I already know what that means. And talking about she don't think we gonna get back together.
Oh man, that mean his penis bigger than you. That mean he laying it down.
But you know what? She did do you a favor. She did do you a favor. She forced you to get your life together.
Forced me. I already had my life together.
You just said
I got it back on track.
You just said you was going through some rough times.
Well, listen, man. Look at the bright side. Be happy for the man that's blowing her back out now. You know what I'm saying? Be happy that she got a man with a bigger penis. You love her, so you want her to be happy, right? So let her enjoy what she's getting at somebody else's house.
Me, of course.
Huh?
I want her to be happy with me, of course.
You ain't got the big penis like she do, man. What if you find out Safari smashing your boo-boo?
Man, look, Safari too lame for that one.
Whoa.
Did you see his penis pics, though?
All right, that don't mean nothing.
Can you compete?
He
said that don't mean nothing.
So both of y'all seen these pictures. All right.
Have a good day, sir. I wish you the best.
No, it didn't seem like you really did.
Because she's gone. I don't know what else to tell her.
All right, let's get it off your chest right now. It's the Breakfast Club. Who's this?
Hey, this is Candace.
Hey, Candace.
Hey, so I'm calling from Atlanta, and I'm actually calling in because I'm feeling blessed and thankful, actually, to you guys, because you guys helped me without even knowing it.
What happened?
So the last time I got through, I was able to let everyone know if they follow me on Instagram at Sweet Addictions TV that I could help them raise their credit score using their rental history. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of people heard me, and not that day I was actually helping single mothers start their own home-based business by helping with the funding. And 10 single mothers called me because they heard me on the show, and I actually helped them start their own business.
That's incredible. That's a nice feeling.
Yeah, so I'm feeling blessed about that, and I'm thankful to you all because, I was able to help 10 single mothers start their own business to get their own income. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
Give us your page one more time so you can get 10 more.
All right, it's Sweet Addictions TV.
All right.
I love being a blessing indirectly. Thank you. Thank you for being a blessing, baby. All right. Get it off your chest. We do that each and every morning right here on The Breakfast Club.
How late is Envy this morning?
Is Envy okay?
Can we check on him? Envy, are you okay?
Envy, are you okay? Now,
all right, let's get ready for Rumor Report now. I told y'all I went to go see Lauryn Hill on tour. It looks like there's some drama happening now. We'll tell you what Santi Gold has to say about not being on the tour anymore. Also, Tamar Braxton. Yesterday we gave you a little hint of what was going to happen on Wendy Williams. Well, we'll tell you what else she had to say about being sexually abused multiple times by multiple family members.
All right, and please remember, we got Escape here next hour, okay? Jermaine Dupri and Escape, all 4 members of Escape. All right, Candy not acting bougie this morning. She's going to be here with everybody else, all right? It's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. I'm Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee. DJ Envy's running a little late. It's Friday!
Yay!
We got the Rumor Report coming up next.
Right now.
Tamar Braxton?
Yeah, on Wendy.
It's about time. What's going on?
Rumor Report. Rumor Report. This is the Rumor Report.
Talk to him.
With Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
Charlamagne, you messed that tease all the way up.
What I supposed to say?
I don't know. You was like coming up next. And
it is coming up next.
Right now.
Oh, now? Yeah. Now.
All right. Tamar Braxton was on with Wendy Williams, and we gave you a teaser about this yesterday, wondering what happened with Tamar Braxton, where she talks about being sexually abused by family members. Well, here's what she had to say on Wendy.
A lot of things happened to me in my childhood that I was like too afraid to talk about or too ashamed to talk about. Mm-hmm. But the truth of the matter is that, you know, I have been molested by both sides of my family, and it's nothing I ever talked about, and I never thought that I would sit around a table with Ayanna, who's here to talk about, you know, me and my sisters and their problems, and to bring that up and sex shame me basically in front of everybody. So that's why I got up and walked out.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, it's always interesting because I think it's always different for like men and women, because like, you know, me getting molested at 8 years old by a woman, I didn't register to me that it was molestation until later on in life.
Well, a lot of women might feel that way too when they're young too. As a young kid too, at 8 years old, you also might not know.
Maybe.
And it doesn't register for a lot of people until later on. And sometimes they feel like family members could be hurt. They feel like it's their fault. You know, so it is a difficult situation, and I'm sure everyone reacts differently. But Tamar,
I never felt like it was my fault. I just enjoyed it.
Yeah, some women, as young girls, you feel like it was your own fault. So it's just, and a lot of times people have mind control over you and you're not sure what you're supposed to do, if it's a secret. So Tamar posted, immediately started to cry, not because someone decided to allow someone else to tell my secret, not because I was asked if it were true in front of 100 strangers, but because once again, my right to choose was taken from me all over again. I decided to tell Wendy and the world my secret myself, that I have been a victim of abuse, not once, twice, 10, but multiple times by multiple family members. I've never told anyone other than 2 people in my life, and they both have held this close to them.
Yikes.
Yes. So she says, one being the man that I am with now, and every single day he says, I'm so beautiful and my scars make me even more attractive. All right.
Well, you just got to work through it.
Thank you to Tamar for sharing something so personal, and I know it's not easy. Lauryn Hill, what happened on her tour? Well, somebody tweeted to Santi Gold, and full disclosure, Santi Gold is like one of my best friends. We went to college together, and I actually went to the Lauryn Hill tour that she was on a date in Detroit.
Was Lauryn Hill on time?
No.
Of course.
Now, somebody told Santi, F you and Nas, F you. I paid $250 for tickets for you to not show up a couple of hours before the show. Fans make your living. Remember that. Are you personally issuing refunds? Santi responded, I'm sorry you paid to see us and we're not there. That really bums me out. I'm also bummed that Miss Lauryn Hill and crew didn't tell people why we're not there. She took us off the bill. And somebody tweeted her, hey, what happened in Portland? I hope you are not ill. And she said, nope, not sick. So sorry I wasn't able to perform for you all. Note I saw from Miss Lauryn Hill management team read, due to production issues, the Miseducation 20th anniversary tour is unable to accommodate Santi Gold's performance this evening.
Well, spill a goddamn tea. Why did Lauryn kick off Nas and Santi Gold, since Santi Gold is your best friend?
Santi Gold. Well, I'm not sure if she knows exactly why, but I do know when we were in Detroit, her being late, and then it kind of cuts into everybody else's time. So a lot of times people aren't able to set up their full production because of that. Like she has a screen that she brings out, that she has all of her effects behind her.
Lauryn does.
No, Santi does.
Okay.
But because it's running late and she has to go on later, and it cuts into her time because then Lauryn takes up some of their time, none of that's able to happen. So they pay all this money for all these other special things that it's supposed to bring out on their show.
I'm confused though. Don't Santi and Nas come out before Lauryn?
Yeah, they come out before her. But they pushed the whole show back.
Oh, got you.
So because of that, so it's been some ongoing issues and then some date changes and all of those things. Like they were supposed to be in New Jersey. That show got postponed to a later date. We don't know what that date is. So things were a bit of a mess.
But that's whack on the promoter's part. If I was the promoter, I would say Santi Gold, Nas, then a 3-hour intermission. That'll give Lauren time to get there. And then
a
Lauren.
daytime show and then a nighttime show.
That's all. That's all you got to do. Easy fix.
Right, but I think Lauren's very also in charge of how it goes down, so that it's not like the promoter can just do what they want. Kind of. And I know there's been issues with her being late, and then that cuts into her set time, so audience members are expecting to see like a full Lauryn Hill show, but because there's curfews and they charge a lot more money every minute you go over, it ends up just abruptly ending.
Y'all really love Lauryn Hill. There's no way in hell I'd buy a Lauryn Hill ticket. Simply because of the rumor, not even a rumor, the historical fact that over the years she's late to a bunch of shows.
It's disappointing to the fans.
Yes.
All right, Frank Ocean and Travis Scott, there's some issues there. Well, according to sources close to Frank Ocean, they're saying that the problem is about Carousel, which features Frank Ocean on the Astroworld album. Apparently, Frank Ocean is upset because his vocals were changed. They don't know what those changes are, but there's some auto-tune. The pitch is higher in the third verse than in the chorus. So according to Frank Ocean, he basically wants to be removed from the track, and Travis Scott has no intentions of doing that.
I had no idea Frank Ocean was even on Travis Scott's album.
Carousel.
Had no idea.
So check it out and see if you see there's anything wrong with it.
Didn't have a clue.
All right, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your Rumor Report.
Yes, and coming up next, lean over. Tell your mama turn the radio up. Tell your auntie turn the radio up. Tell your uncle turn the radio
What's
up.
happening?
We got Jermaine Dupri and Escape. Okay? They're coming up next on the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. And by next, I mean after this song.
DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got some special guests in the building. JD, Jermaine Dupri, and Escape.
Hey!
Y'all know I'm fanning out because I never seen Escape all together like this in one time in person.
We definitely didn't expect to see you here, Candy. We was like, Candy.
Candy be busy. Candy be too busy for the rest of the girls.
I just got back from Japan and came straight here for y'all.
Did you bring us all vibrators?
Well, no, but I could bring you one next time I see you.
Okay, no, I'm just saying Candy got her candy coated,
body candy. Yeah.
So are you back touring with the group? Are you back touring with the group?
Yeah. That's why
you took some time off to do some other things, and
she didn't want to record an album.
Right.
Yeah, basically. Right. We toured together all from last year to the top of the year, and then I had to do Broadway, and they did some more shows. Now I'm taping Housewives, but at the end of taping, I go straight on tour with them.
Okay. I love seeing y'all all together because I didn't know if it was going to really ever happen. Right. It was always in talks. There was all these things going on internally with people not getting along, but you guys finally worked it out. So let's talk about that because I know that's difficult.
It's a part of maturing. I think it's a part of maturing because when you're younger, you're childish. Sometimes you're self-centered. Things happen, but when you grow up and life changes, then you think about what's important.
Who was the hardest to come around and be like, "Come on now"? Who was the hardest to talk to?
Me.
You?
You can. Everybody knows it's me. Yeah, I'm one of those type of people. Once I get up and I'm feeling a certain kind of way about something, I'm just like, okay, I'm good. Like I'm done.
So you wanted a public apology? Admission of...
Yeah, I felt like it was a lot that had happened, and I felt like it kind of stayed with me, you know what I mean? And I just felt like it needed to be cleared up. But at the same time, it ended up not even mattering because nobody cared about that as much as they cared about us getting back together.
Y'all trust each other now, though.
Trust each other as far as what?
Oh, that means in general. Exactly. That's not a difficult question.
That means
that's not a loaded question. Y'all trust each other.
Trust no one.
Damn.
Damn. I don't know.
I think to a certain degree. It depends on what it is. What we're dealing with. We can trust one another, And, some things we may go left, Everybody got their own lives going on. Everybody got a lot of stuff going on.
See? Yeah, that's what we need. We needed this.
So it's more business than friendship.
Well,
no, I would say it's both.
Gotcha.
We still.
I look at it like a family. In family, sometimes you fall out, you come together. Sometimes you don't talk for a long period of time. But at the end of the day, you always come back and say, you know what, this is what's important.
Like Jermaine Dupri or Bow Wow. I feel like you guys always have like your back and forth, but then y'all always come back together somehow.
This relationship with all my artists is the same.
Bow Wow's a little different though. Bow Wow, because that's like your son. / little brother / artist. He's like all of the above.
It's just what
y'all talk to the mic, JD.
It's just what y'all see.
Bow Wow Wow's out on social media all the time. You never respond. You never feed
I don't even be following Bow Wow, by the way.
You don't follow Bow Wow?
He's not blocked though. He's not blocked.
Yeah, why? For what? I mean, how long have I been dealing with this? It's been every day of my life since he was 12 years old. Bow Wow's been the same. The dude used to come on my bus and steal my jewelry, like everything. He's been doing this.
Steal your jewelry, like
when we was on tour. When he was 12, I had my jewelry laid on my bus. He'll come off his bus and steal my jewelry and take my jewelry and run on his bus. His bus be gone. I have to wait to get my jewelry. Like, he's been doing that crazy stuff to me.
Well, he just admitted he had a drug problem.
His antics.
So he said a lot of his antics were due to drugs.
Really?
Yeah, he said it on
Twitter. Yeah.
Really?
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't be following that.
I didn't know that. Wow.
They said that he said he was addicted to lean, and then he said he just stopped smoking weed for the last 2 weeks. He said he stopped smoking weed.
Well, good for him. Good for him.
I'll learn something.
Now, who opens and closes on this tour?
Oh, that's
a tough one.
Hey.
Look how everybody looking at me. We ain't figured it out yet. Everybody open and close.
Why can't they giving you the side eye? Like, boy, he with the bull already.
Everybody open and close.
And everybody don't close.
Right.
Yeah, that's impossible. He being too political right now.
How does everybody close?
We need to know.
I mean, because the closing of this show is multiple hits back to back as opposed to it being like one song. You know what I mean? And they know this because we all created this idea. I created this idea with them.
Candy look like, look, I ain't get that memo.
So what happened in like the
No, you had already created the idea. We just discussed what songs you were talking about.
Yeah. I mean, we gonna end the show with a bang, and it's gonna be like everybody bang at the end, as opposed to it being like, because everybody got fans, and everybody feel like everybody fans feel like each one of these songs is different. So.
Well, this is what I was saying.
Okay, Candy.
When we sat down with him, and because I don't think he really explaining it, like the way he explained it to us, like it's gonna be back-to-back #1 smashes from the top, and then we're gonna end with back-to-back #1 smashes.
That's what I just said.
Like the whole thing, everybody's gonna feel like they could sing along through the whole concert. It's gonna feel familiar. You're gonna feel like every hit from your childhood, from your adulthood, what made you have a baby, get married, whatever it was
that sound good.
About our hits. Is going to be back to back. So meaning like, for instance, it may be Jagged Edge come out with a smash that you love, and then we come right on stage and come with another smash that you love right after them.
Black people be late.
Oh, so nobody got set.
Nobody's going to be able to be late. We're going to be on the show together.
So when the first person step out there and there's only 5,000 people out there because black people late, you got to give them like a 30-40 minute grace period.
This is a show you do not want to be late to.
Right.
Because it's not set up for like, oh, you got your opening act.
Right.
This is a show where everybody is a part of the same
It's like a greatest
performance.
hits show.
Right. Yes. So it's going to be going like, we're going to go on and off, on and off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I read this is the first tour where every artist had a major hit, and the first 20 records performed in the show are all #1 songs.
100%.
Now, Candy, what made you want to be a part of this tour? Because you don't be having time for Escape like that.
Just telling me.
Well, actually, everything went really great with our tour that we had, with the Great Escape Tour. And, we had discussed doing another tour. This came across the table, and,
She's trying to get that shmoney.
That's right.
She ain't turned it down. She like that shmoney.
It's a good check. I mean, come on, we all business people here.
Do you guys feel like y'all are closer now than you were before? Now that you've gone through like whatever separations you had, grown up, like you said, got more mature, have families.
For sure. Now we have a problem with one another. We'll say, listen, I ain't like that, or you want to change this, whether it's wardrobe or whatever. So yeah, I think it's a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's easier for everybody to walk away.
Nobody's riding.
Because y'all grown, y'all got money, y'all got to put up
We all have our own buses.
Now I was gonna say y'all all got your own buses.
Yes.
See, they ain't with each other. Y'all all got
everybody
your own
has
No. We have families. All of us
Everybody
have
has
families.
Listen,
Yes.
we have written on each
Says
other's
the guy
buses.
with a whole car lot in front of his
No,
house.
bus is expensive to
They
go
are,
on
but we
tour.
have a lot of people. Like, she got
I got 7 kids.
Yeah,
And
that's a
her
whole bus right
husband.
there.
Yeah, you right.
Everybody's
You taking them
just
all,
a lot.
Tiny?
No, but I'm
Sometimes
just
they
saying
do
they
come
come. Some of them come. A group of them, 3 or 4.
And we have a nice little entourage too.
Yeah.
Our glam wardrobe.
That's a lot of tour buses.
Yeah, we're employing a lot of people.
How do everybody's families interact with each other too? Now that with the kids, the husbands,
Oh yeah, everybody's good.
Mm-hmm.
See, what's funny about this whole thing is that people, y'all see this, y'all think this like a reunion. Like, we've seen these people all the time. Like, even if we ain't doing no tour, everybody done seen each other.
I don't see you like that.
I done seen. I'm saying like, especially Tiny. I be in the same room with Tiny like. Yeah. Every damn near almost all the weeks, every time, all the time. Would it be a Jeezy session, a T.I. session? Or Tiny just be sitting over there. You know what I mean? It's like, it ain't like a reunion. Like, it's like people, we done seen these people around.
All right, we got more with JD and Escape coming up next on the world's most dangerous morning show.
Checking out the world's most dangerous morning show.
What's up? It's the Breakfast Club, and as y'all know, we got Jermaine Dupri and Escape here. We're talking about the 25th anniversary of the So Def tour. So let's get into it. Charlamagne?
How did y'all truly repair the relationship, though? Because you called Candy out and JD out and said they was messing around with each other. So how did you repair all that?
Me and Candy sat down like two grown women.
Okay.
I went to her house. We sat down. We hadn't seen each other for like 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
And we sat down, and it was like, dang. Like,
it was emotional.
It was very emotional. It was very emotional. We both said things, how we felt. You know, we got stuff off our chest. And until it was like we were just talking about old times, and to the point now we sharing rooms on the tour. We share everything now. So it's like
they got the B team and then A team over here. You know,
no, we the A team. Everybody know we the A team.
A team,
whatever.
But that's good. I feel you.
We A team, they B team.
Sometimes you have a private conversation and with something that was public, and you do want somebody to publicly clear something up because it's important to you personally. Like, there's people that'll come to you like behind the scenes and be like, "You listen, I want to apologize or reach out," but it is important to just clear things up and be like, most
definitely. I even talked to my sister about that a while ago. Before they even talked, I was like, you guys should talk. And then I told Candy, when we had our conversation, you guys should have that conversation outside of business, just as females. And when they did it, I was like, yo, what we doing?
But it really wasn't a business transaction type thing.
Well, it was. I mean, it was a lot going on. I mean, I think one thing we also just left out, but you saw in the show, is like somebody was trying to steal our legacy.
But no, what I'm saying is that
initiated us
the things, but that wasn't the cause of it. I felt like the stuff that we talked about, the stuff that we got off our chest, it was bigger than business.
Oh, definitely, it was bigger than business. I feel like, growing up, Tamika and I were really close. So when the whole mess happened or whatever with what she said, I think that's why I took it more to heart. Right. Because it came from her.
Who tried to steal the group's legacy?
Somebody else, they had to shop a movie deal about our group without us being a part of it.
Was it Mona Scott?
No. It wasn't Mona. It was, I'm not putting no names to it, but basically they did a deal with the network to do a movie about us without our knowledge.
And when we found out, music.
Yeah, we was mad at him.
Pretty much.
And you was gonna get the music for real? I thought you were joking.
I mean, you got, the thing.
Stop stuttering, JD.
Come on, tell it.
I'm saying, like, the thing about it was that I'm looking at that. I'm thinking about legacy. I'm thinking about, how quick people out here write us off anyway. I'm like, if somebody want to do a movie about a group that I signed, then I'm gonna let them do the movie about the group that I signed. I'm not getting ready to, like, just be like, okay, well, y'all kill everybody off. Like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like that's what was happening. So we had to have that same conversation that she's saying that her and Tamika had. We had to have the heart conversation about why I did it and why I was trying to do it.
How come you don't mend the relationships with your artists? Like, you're like, I ain't getting involved with like, you don't want to dive in and say, you know what, I'm gonna fix this because you signed
like for what? I mean, ultimately, I mean, y'all listen, let me say this. Everybody keep talking about Bow Wow. The one thing that y'all gotta realize, y'all never seen Bow Wow in no trouble. Y'all just keep talking about him on social media. You ain't seen Bow Wow go to jail. You ain't seen Bow Wow with no drug addiction. He telling y'all that. Y'all ain't seen that. Cause I said something about this, about the Mac Miller thing, how people was just like, yo, that's my man. I'm like, if that's your man, and if you see your man doing the drugs, you're supposed to say something if you're a smart person, right? I have never seen Bow Wow do no drugs around me. It's not gonna happen around me. So I'm saying I'm in his life. You know what I'm saying? I'm in their life too, but I'm saying I'm gonna let y'all hear from them the way they always, that's how it's always been.
Does Escape trust Jermaine Dupri?
Trust them.
They here. You could they here. That means yes.
You just said you was gonna let them talk, Jay.
I had to step in when I know. I'm saying. I'm gonna tell you.
No one.
Because I'm gonna tell you, like, I was surprised. I was just as surprised to see these two sharing everything on the tour, probably more than anybody. Because I was shocked. Like, I went to the show. And they pulled me in their dressing room, and they was like, "This our dressing room. This how I go down and hit that." They was keeping me away from them too, and I was like, "Damn, all right, this." You know what I'm saying? And I could feel real camaraderie. It didn't feel like somebody told them, "Y'all, you guys need to do this," and da. So you know what I mean? I feel like same thing with this. They all here. That's showing you how they feel about what we doing.
Well, we know how Candy felt, but how did you feel when you heard Tamika say that Candy slept with you and your father?
Damn, Charlamagne.
Damn. So the currency tour, the cultural currency tour, is coming to a city near you.
Wait. So Escape has not been here since y'all heard that old ass story.
No, and y'all never have all been here together.
Oh, okay, all right. So he gonna try to get it all out. All right.
Yeah. So we on the tour right now. It's gonna be high energy. All the hits.
I think the favorite Candy was that it wasn't true about Michael Malden. That was the whole point, and she wanted to make sure that rumor got squashed. So make sure that you squash it again, Candy, since he brought it back up.
Wait, what? You said make sure I squash it?
Well, yeah, just make sure you guys, just because I don't want to put it out there again, and it seems like it's...
Well, y'all did.
Right.
What?
Let it go.
Just saying that it's not true that Candy slept with Michael Malden.
No, that was not true.
Right,
it was
that's
like
all. I don't want
totally
that to
like she just makes that up. I didn't have nothing to do with that now.
I didn't make it up now. It was told to me.
Who made that up?
I didn't make it up.
Oh, about to bring it up.
Let's move on. Let's talk about the tour. What's the first date of the tour? Let's go back to.
Why is it a mayonnaise bottle?
October 14th, Washington, D.C.
Yeah. For the white people that come in there.
A whole bottle of mayonnaise?
Yeah, I like to do this to piss off white people. I just hold it up there. I call it mayonnaise.
Okay, right.
But you know,
not even the right kind.
We did miss you about I would say about a month ago, and I even texted you. I told you we missed you. You know, the first time I met Janet Jackson was with you, and I just remember back then Janet was in the strip clubs, Janet was out and about, Janet was doing mixtapes, and it was a different Janet. And when she came, like 3 weeks ago?
I think so. I don't remember.
Like 3 weeks ago,
I erased that memory
it just
from my
wasn't
mind.
the same person. It wasn't the same. She didn't seem down to earth.
Well, how long ago was that?
With JD?
Yeah.
Like 7
I don't think
years.
none of them care about this.
8
Janet
years.
not on the social.
No,
death
I'm just
toll.
telling JD. I said I missed him. And the reason I say that is people don't remember what that relationship was and how cool she was, because it was just a totally different Janet. Do you still speak to her or no?
Envy.
I seen you like her picture.
This bothers Envy, by the
It
way.
does. I hit him mad times about it.
Bobby hit me bad. He hit me up about this. This really bothers you. I mean, yeah, we cool. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, it's a JD touch, man. When I touch somebody, they touched, man. I'm like a reverend.
How do y'all feel about that
Don't take me to that church.
statement? How y'all feel about that statement, Escape? How y'all feel about that statement?
What statement?
That when he touches somebody, it's like a reverend. You ever felt the healing from JD?
My goodness.
In music, we'll give him that.
I'm saying, you know how many millionaires I made?
That's a fact.
I'm just saying.
What about Kyle?
Call me lottery.
Is Kyle gonna be on this tour?
Of course.
Which lottery?
Listen, I do want to say this without all jokes aside. This is what black people should pay attention to, is that this is a tour that probably, I would say, nobody else has ever done this before. This is we have all the groups, every artist that was ever signed to So Def is on this tour. They're alive. They out here, they happy, and they going on the road. This ain't happened with Bad Boy. This ain't happened with Death Row. This ain't happened with Def Jam. This ain't happened with no label. So Def is the only label that's got all of the artists, not even Motown.
I thought Bow Wow said he's not doing it.
Come on, man.
Oh, gosh.
Cut it out. Stop. That's what I'm
Bow Wow said on
saying.
social
I'm saying
media
cut it
he's not
out,
doing
man.
it.
You ain't. Go to his page right now.
What?
It's the first thing on top. It's pinned to the top of his page.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, go right now.
So you saw when he said that, though.
I mean, listen, like I said.
He doesn't follow him.
He doesn't follow Bow Wow.
I went to see if it was on his page when he said it. It's pinned to the top of his page.
All right, well, DJ Envy, you got that Escape mini mix for us. Let's get into it right now.
Club, that was an Escape mini mix. Now, are y'all doing new music?
No.
Well, we have an EP out called Here For It. Tiny, myself, and Latasha. So
Candy's she's doing music.
Yeah, she's doing music too.
Oh, yeah. I do music. Yeah.
I do music. We know you do music. She's doing solo music.
Why is Candy so against doing new music with Escape?
Well, no, I mean, I feel like for me, it's just like a thing of like, I really enjoy performing with my group members, you know, and I feel like, you know, at this day and age, at this age, I just want to be able to do whatever I want to do and business wise, I like to be in control of my own situation. You know, when you're doing business with 4 different people at 4 different...
You got to split it. 25, 25.
It's not even that. It's not even about split. It's just everybody has their own mindset of how they want to handle business. And, it's like the more and more stuff you do together, it's just kind of like, okay.
It just seemed like it would make sense since y'all all on the road together. Why not?
Well, see, I like her answer. She had a different answer that I heard, you know what I mean?
But you heard, JD.
Yeah, I heard a different answer. The different answer that was that you felt like the music and the artists and where y'all are as a group, you didn't want to tarnish the success of success.
Well, that's
success.
True. I mean, to me, it's like back in the day, we sold multi-platinum records, or whatever, right? And it's not the same as it was then. You get what I'm saying? Now is a totally different way that people selling records.
So I thought
in
that
my
was
mind, I feel like, why tarnish that?
I see what Candy's saying though, because it is hard. Because those records all mean something to us. Like that was a time.
Have you heard Memory Lane?
No.
You need to check it out. That's our new single. It's bad.
I'm gonna check it out. I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
But all those records mean, like, Just Kicking It. I can remember where I was when I first heard Just Kicking It. You know what I'm saying? So those records mean something.
It's a whole new generation.
Yeah, we can't. Certain songs don't fit our age. Now we're singing about relationships. We weren't in a real relationship back then. Now we saying some real conscious grown folk stuff. We talking that real grown stuff.
We were talking grown stuff now.
We were talking nasty. I didn't even half the songs we were singing. Girl, I was like, I bet you can't hang. When I got older, I was like, oh, that's what we were singing about? I didn't know half the stuff. I did not. Half of that stuff Jermaine wrote.
I ain't gonna let you get off.
No, I'm saying certain songs. I can speak for myself. Both
no,
of y'all. Anyway. But what I'm saying is certain things did not mean what it means to me now.
Right.
Okay. It has more meaning to Tamika Scott now.
You was hot though.
I think that's what I'm saying.
Hot, baby. I'm still hot, baby. I'm still hot, mama, baby. That ain't going nowhere.
You had
She's a hot body.
You had men coming, knocking on your door, coming traveling from city to city. Come on now.
Tiny, did you hear when Brisha Webb was
you on blast?
No, don't do that. Come on, B. Come on, don't do that.
You on blast.
You got that comeback. It's okay.
See, like, listen, let me explain something.
Come on, y'all. Hush. Leave me alone now. I'm trying to be good in this. I'm trying to be good. Y'all gonna have the beef come out. Y'all better hush.
So, Envy, you want the answer to your question? I got it. This is the answer to your question. This is why I don't get involved in this.
Because we family. If he
been
got involved, we ain't gonna do that. We'll beat him up.
Since I signed
Get out, Tiny. Get out to me.
So JD, you don't think you can write Escape a Hit in 2018? I
Of
think
course.
you could. Yeah.
I'm never. What you talking about? Me saying I'm not. I just agree with what she's saying. I think that I feel bad for artists that put out brand new albums and they go do some of them songs and the crowd sitting down and then they can't wait until they put up they old records. The times don't matter to me. It's the easiest time in the world to make hit records right now.
But you saying you can do it, but you don't know about everybody else.
Huh?
You saying you can pull it out, but you don't know about everybody else. Is that what you're saying?
You said what?
That's
you
heard
saying.
She's saying
You
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I understand that mindset because you do have to think about that. I think that's the same thing I was saying to y'all about the movie and the whatever was the documentary or whatever it was. I feel like you have to. The one thing I found out about getting to this space in life 25 years is that you have to protect your legacy. And protecting your legacy is damn near as hard as writing a hit record to get to the legacy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will try all kind of shit to just like say whatever. They gonna discredit you, this, that, and the third. But you got to continue to keep protecting it. So I'm saying you have to watch out and say, yo, if we gonna make a record, let's understand how big we are. Just Kicking It off their first album, these is #1 records immediately, right? That's what I'm saying about this tour. It's just like to make sure everybody understand that. Like, yeah, the first 10 records on this show. When the last time y'all been to a concert where the first 10 records was all #1 records? I'm not talking about like good songs and creditable to the culture. I'm talking about 6ix9ine be saying on Billboard, #1 records on Billboard. That you ain't been to no show like that. You know what I'm saying? Even like Jay-Z and Beyonce, I went to their show. They first 10 songs ain't all #1 records. They hits to us as a culture.
But you guys did the EP with the intention of we just love doing music and we're not putting the pressure of saying this has to be a platinum album.
We've never done it before.
We've never been independent either. We've never like done it on our own. We've always had a label behind us.
Did you like it, the whole process of this?
Process went great, actually. We did 6 songs in like 6 nights.
Did y'all miss Candy?
You
Tasha, you so messy. No, they didn't miss me.
But listen, since I'm a visionary person, I like what they doing though. Everybody can take a page from like the New Edition book, right? Mm-hmm. When BBD went and did what BBD did, who was tripping about them not being with New Edition, right? I'm just happy to see that, you know, Escape is a group that lasted this long and they all got these different, you know, branches and this, that, and the third to pull it together and try to do it like this. I think that's the part that, you know, people they pay so much attention to the group breaking up. But I'm saying if you can do multiple things in this world right now and still come back together and do what we about to do on this tour, that's the life that you're supposed to live right now. That's what y'all do. Y'all work at different places. Right. Mm-hmm. Candy selling dildos. They
they're trying to bring it down today. Let's be clear now. This is a multi-million-dollar business. We got thousands of bedroom candy consultants across the country. It's not about a dildo. We got all kinds of stuff we sell.
Okay,
but you can go get that at bedroomcandy.com. Thank you. I feel like you need to constantly reinvent yourself, right? So to me, I feel like them reinventing themselves and making Escape 3 is dope. Everybody can go on and do their own thing and still do the group performances or whatever New Edition does, and nobody has a problem with it. So I don't understand why people be constantly questioning us because it's not, you know, the Escape as we started out. Right. You know what I mean? Like, let everybody do their own thing. And when we want to do shows, we do shows. And when we want to do other things, we do other things.
But when's the last time y'all got into a tussle? Because it seems like y'all got into a tussle at least one time in the tour.
Let me tell you.
No tussles.
It's going to be in the movie. It's going to be in the movie.
Well, tickets are on sale right now. October 14th. It kicks off in Washington, D.C. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster locations. And we appreciate you guys for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really that's right. It's Escape. It's Jermaine Dupri.
One.
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. I mean, the guy, we are the Breakfast Club.
You just gonna walk up in here like you're not late?
I was just here. I just did the interview.
No, okay. All right.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, duh.
Oh, okay. All right.
Duh.
Good morning. How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Eminem.
It's time. She's spilling the tea.
This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club.
Well, here's part 3 of Eminem's interview with Sway talking about Kamikaze. Now, another thing that he addressed on this interview was the BET Cypher he did where he went in on Trump. And some people were critical about that cypher. Well, here's what he had to say.
I got backlash for the Trump cypher, and you know, it is what it is. At least when this is all said and done, maybe I can just be on the right side of history. But you got people dissecting the bars and going, oh, it's trash, it's not even that good. And like, that's not what it's about. You're missing the whole point. I'm trying to say this also to my fan base who might have voted for him.
First of all, I always say that, you know, I love when white people use their privilege to combat prejudice, but a wordsmith like Eminem, a man who's always prided himself on being lyrical, is upset because we, the people, are dissecting his lyrics. Knock it off, Eminem. You sound foolish.
I don't think the freestyle was trash. The freestyle wasn't trash.
It wasn't trash.
It wasn't trash.
I didn't say it was trash, but it wasn't good by Eminem standards. It was okay.
It was good.
People got caught up in the message, but the lyrics weren't amazing by Eminem standards.
We compared it to My Song, and that's probably...
My Song bodied Eminem. Stop it. What you mean? My Song's freestyle was way better than Eminem at that
But it's not a comparison. He did it. It was of course, my song
what he was saying was his point was in doing that cypher, there's people in his fan base who are Trump supporters, and that's pretty much what that was for.
Stop making excuses. A message can't be delivered within a hot verse. My son delivered a message within a hot verse.
Was it whack?
What?
No, his verse wasn't whack.
It was kind of whack.
No, it definitely wasn't whack. All right. Now, he also discusses what happened with Tyler, the Creator, and why he dissed him. If you guys remember on the song Fall, he had this to say.
Tyler create nothing, I see why you call yourself a rap bitch. It's not just cause you lack attention, it's because you worship the 12 songs. It's sacrilegious. If you're gonna critique me, you better at least be as good or better. Better the hood is wetter, whatever his name is to help you put together some words, more than just 2 letters.
All right, well, why did he have an issue with Tyler, the Creator, and clearly Earl Sweatshirt, too? Here's what he had to say.
You know, I just felt like, okay, there's a mutual respect, you know. And a lot of this that ended up happening after that, like the tweet he put out with talking about Shady 15 and why can't people that are close to him tell him that his sucks and it's trash. And like, okay, listen, man, you don't have to like it. But being that somebody really was cool to you, and just don't go public with it. I chalk it up to them being young and just kids, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, I've been there. The last straw, like, look, when Tyler tweeted out the thing about Walk on Water, this song is horrible.
It was.
I was like, all right, I need to say something now.
Walk on Water was terrible. It was garbage.
He maybe felt like he didn't need to tweet that out because he thought they were friends. You and Eminem aren't friends, so you can say what you want to say. But if he felt like he was friends with Tyler, the Creator, maybe he felt like, you can tell me that, but is it necessary to tweet it out?
I just think Eminem's making a lot of excuses to be one of the greatest MCs of all time.
No, he's explaining that he got in his feelings and he's a human being.
You just sold 500,000 records in the first week and you still making all these excuses. Why? Just because some of your art wasn't received well?
He's explaining why he was doing what he did because people were wondering what was the issue. So now he's telling you.
Here's
what else he had to say about Tyler, the Creator, and how he did feel that his diss record went a little too far.
I was angry when I said this about Tyler. The word that I called him on the album was one of the things where I felt like this might be too far. Yeah. In my quest to hurt him, I realized that I was hurting a lot of other people by saying it. It was one of the things that I kept going back to going, I don't feel right with this. Before the album came out, I had the conversation with Paul and we spun the word back. But now I realize people can hear what I'm saying anyways.
You've used that word 1,000,000 times throughout your career. You already did the apology tour when you got on stage with Elton John back in the day. So you know better than to use that word now. So that makes no sense. Like one time is a mistake, but then when you do it again after you know that word offends the community, like what are you doing?
Well, I guess what he was doing was trying to quote what Tyler, the Creator, said about himself to hurt him, and he just...
So why not say that this way instead of back in
and it played backwards. It didn't play forward, so that's what he was explaining why he shouldn't even have done that. Because it played backwards. It didn't say.
Well, he shouldn't have said the word at all.
Exactly. You know,
right. That's what he just said.
He knows the pain.
He did that years ago. Like, you've apologized for that already.
Right. He just said that again. So he's, again, apologizing, saying he went too far.
Revival was whack. Kamikaze is dope. End of story. What's there to talk about?
Well, people had questions, so he did an interview to answer those questions.
And Angela used to work for Eminem. That's why she's defended him so much.
Well, no, I do think that if people have questions and he sits down and does an interview, he should answer the questions. Yeah. Right?
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your Rumor Report.
All right. Thank you, Miss C. Charlamagne.
Yes, sir.
Who are you giving that donkey to?
Oh, man. We need Fox 4 Dallas to come to the front of the congregation. You know how they do us. First they assassinate us, then they try to assassinate our character. We'll talk about it.
All right. And we're going to get on this new joint we've been playing the top of every hour is Gucci Mane featuring Bruno Mars and Kodak Black. Wake Up in the Sky. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Well, Ed Sheeran, Donkey of the Day for Friday, September 14th goes to Fox 4 News in Dallas. Now, if you haven't heard about the murder of Botham Jean at the hands of Dallas police officer Amber Geiger, let me get you up to speed. Amber Geiger was off duty when she pulled into her apartment complex, but pulled into the wrong floor. Then she walked up to an apartment she thought was hers, but it wasn't. She put the key in the door, but the door was already unlocked. She walked in there, and there was a black man named Botham Jean minding his own business in his own damn apartment. She says she gave him verbal commands to stop, but if I was home in my basketball shorts eating some trail mix, minding my business, and someone comes into my house with a gun telling me what to do, I don't think I'd be that cooperative either. But to make a long story tragic, Amber Geiger shot and killed him. Shot him dead for no reason other than she made a mistake and went into the wrong apartment. Her apartment is on the 3rd floor. Botham Jean's was on the 4th. She allegedly went into the wrong apartment, and now a man is dead. That is the story that the Dallas Police Department has given us. Okay, a man is dead because Amber Geiger needs a GPS installed in her ass to tell her how to get to where she is going at all times. Now, to add insult to a fatal gunshot, yesterday Fox 4 News Dallas put a story out with the headline, "Search warrant says marijuana found in Botham Jean's apartment after deadly shooting." Oh, the mayonnaise! Hold on. The mayonnaise is heavy in that headline. Let's go to KDFW Fox 4 Dallas for the BS report, please.
A search warrant describes more of the evidence collected at Botham Jean's apartment the day after he was shot and killed by an off-duty Dallas police officer.
The inventory return shows 2 fired cartridge casings, 1 laptop computer, a black backpack with police equipment and paperwork, an insulated lunchbox, 1 black ballistic vest with police markings, 10.4 grams of marijuana in Ziploc bags, 1 metal marijuana grinder, 2 keys, and 2 used packages of medical aid. Now, the document does not say where any of those items were located in the apartment or who they belong to. And there have been several warrants signed by judges and executed in this case, so we could learn of additional items retrieved. Now, we do not know if those requests included any warrants to search Officer Geiger's apartment as well. Now, Officer Geiger did consent to a blood draw the night of the shooting. Toxicology reports for her and Jean are pending.
You found a little bit of marijuana in Botham Jean's apartment after he was murdered because a police officer was too discombobulated for whatever reason to realize she walked into the wrong apartment. Some marijuana. So the F what? What the hell does that have to do with anything, okay? This is a classic example of first they assassinate you and then they assassinate your character. I don't give a damn if this man Botham Jean had weed in his apartment. I'm more interested to know what drug Amber Geiger had in her system that led her to not know where the hell she was at in the first place. Now, Fox 4, if you needed a headline, how about talk about some of the other stuff they found in the apartment, like a black backpack with police equipment and paperwork, one black ballistic vest with police markings. Now, I'm not the highest grade of weed in the dispensary, but why did this man Botham Jean have police equipment and paperwork in his house and a black ballistic vest with police markings? He wasn't a cop. Was he in the academy? Not that I know of, but it just so happens he had things that a police officer would have in his crib, and a police officer accidentally, conveniently forgot what apartment she lived in. Nah, bruh. That dream you trying to sell, we not buying it. Okay, not at all. All right, now you're trying to deflect from the possible real issue, which is 9 times out of 10, Botham and Amber knew each other, had some type of relationship, and things went left. And now the police department in Dallas is trying to cover it up. But I mean, none of us can prove that right now, but you're trying to deflect from that situation, okay? But instead of that story, you would rather put heavy mayonnaise all over this situation by trying to discredit that man's character with weed. I read a quote once from Sardonyx Jade, and Sardonyx Jade said, attempts at character assassination usually occur when it's too conspicuous to pierce your target with a bullet. I agree. But your Uncle Charlotte says character assassination also usually occurs when it is too obvious that a conspiracy is happening to cover up the fact a white police officer, yet again in this country, has unjustly pierced and killed a black target with a bullet. Please give Fox 4 Dallas the biggest hee-haw. The Hellmans is heavy in that headline.
Yes, they have to keep investigating that. I'm hearing all kinds of different things about how the door could not have possibly been left ajar because the doors all closed automatically behind them. She keeps changing her story about what happened.
Why did
Pictures
he have
of them together.
Police paperwork and police equipment in his house? Why was there a black ballistic vest with police markings in his crib if he wasn't a cop? Heavy mayonnaise all over these headlines.
All right. Well, thank you for that donkey of the day. When we come back, the Judge Faith Jenkins, is in the building. We're going to ask about this, too, when we come back. So don't move. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Everybody, it's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Friend to the room.
Judge Faith Jenkins.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me back. I can't believe it's been 6 months. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it has.
Damn.
That was 6 months ago, yes.
Wow. Did anything change for you after this interview?
My social media blew up. That's for sure. I was not prepared. I've never been on before. I was not prepared.
That's all.
But in a good way.
A lot of people shooting their shot. The judge is fine.
Well, no, just in general, people saying, I had a lot of positive feedback.
Mm-hmm. That's what you call it. That's what you call it. Okay.
A lot of
DMs look like. What them DMs look like?
DMs are okay. No, it was fine. I was overwhelmed, but in a good way. I was not prepared for that.
You see how she called it? She's like, it was pop. Somebody say popping. Let's say popping.
Yeah, any celebs in your DMs?
In my DMs, a couple.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But all positivity. All good stuff. It was all positive.
How's your segment on Steve Harvey Show going?
Oh, it's going great.
Okay.
It's going great. I started doing Judge Faith Rules at the end of the season, and that's going to be recurring this season as well. But it's fun because I go on and I give the legal aspect of what the issues are, and he gives the not so legal aspect of it.
What was the craziest case you had with him?
With Steve?
Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness! We had a few crazy cases, but I think it's one where the guy, he's an aspiring
rapper.
Model.
Oh, model. Okay.
One of those.
One of those.
But someone was using his photos on to promote their products without talking to him and without his permission. And you see a lot of that.
Catfishing.
Catfishing.
Yeah.
You did you just on a show about that. And so you see a lot of that now. Our laws are really trying to catch up with technology. Technology has moved so fast that it's still trying to catch up, even with women on who are in the public eye. And the threats, and I shouldn't say just women, but I hear this more from women.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The threats that we get on social media, the stalking, the harassment on social media. And even me as a former prosecutor, I had one individual, it was so bad. I'm not rattled easily because I've seen a lot of things, but there was one person I was very concerned about, and I called one of my friends who was also a former prosecutor, and I talked to him about it. It's like, listen, as bad as this is, and I understand why you're concerned, there's nothing you can do about it right now.
Really?
Because they're just words on a paper right now.
My lawyer told me the same
And
exact
it
thing.
is until someone gets up to you, takes that next step with action, when it could possibly be too
Shoot
late.
you, kill you, punch you in the face, all that, huh?
You can't do anything right now. And so that's why I say our laws are still catching up, because these are very valid concerns that people have with some things happening on social media, myself included in that one instance.
I feel that way about defamation on social media. I feel like social media sites like the Twitter apps, the Instagram, all that, they should be held liable for things that certain people
that they allow on their sites.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You can't just be saying anything you want about people.
But it's a balancing act between people having their right to express themselves and their First Amendment freedoms, and when it crosses that line, when it crosses that line into defamation. But I'm just saying, because everyone has access now, everyone has a voice, and a lot of people, because the anonymity of it all is what is hurting people the most, because you're able to hide behind a keyboard and in many cases not reveal your true identity and say what you want, and you can approach anyone now, whereas it used to be you couldn't have access to celebrities to communicate with them or people in the public eye, and now that's all changed.
If you was a judge and Cardi B came into your courtroom after you saw her trying to attack Nicki Minaj, what would you sentence her to?
Sentence? I wouldn't sentence her to anything. I don't think it rose to the level of a crime.
Okay.
But it was certainly concerning. I mean, people had to hold her back from the video that I saw.
She threw a shoe, so would that be attempted assault?
Oh, did she throw a shoe?
Oh, no, she didn't throw a shoe then. I don't want to get in trouble.
It's a video. Yes, she threw a shoe.
Oh, okay, she did throw a shoe. Okay, so yeah, that's attempted assault.
That's a charge?
It could be. It could be. But I mean, in those cases, first of all, no one's going to press charges. I don't think it's going to be something that, that someone's going to move forward with, but it could be.
So you wouldn't have sentenced her to nothing if she was in that?
No.
You love Bodak Yellow.
That's my workout song. So I do like that song.
Did you see Judge Lynn Tyler here?
I saw that she was here. I was excited about that. I saw the clips that were posted.
She spoke about mental health and people suffering from it and how it affects her when she's on the stand determining cases. Does that factor into your decision making too?
Well, I see people in front of me that I realize have issues. And that comes in a variety of ways. People who are suffering because of things that happened to them in their childhood or as a result of relationships, and then there's just the chemical imbalance that some people have, and so I've seen it in a variety of ways on my show, and you take that into consideration.
Do you think judges, doctors, I would say police officers should take some type of mental test before they get that position?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't, especially we're talking about police officers now, and a lot of these cases that we continue to see, there's a case right now in Dallas that's all over the news, the young man who was shot and killed in his own apartment. Absolutely. That's one of the things that concerns me, especially with police officers, because you do have that responsibility. You do carry a gun. You do carry a badge. And every day when you go out, lives are at stake, yours and other people's. So, it's important that they are properly vetted and have the training, and the mental health aspect is a serious part of that.
All right, we got more with Judge Faith Jenkins when we come back. Keep it locked. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We have Judge Faith Jenkins in the building. Now,
what do you think of that case of the off-duty cop who walked into the wrong apartment and shot an unarmed black man?
I think, listen, we've all worked long days and long hours. I know I have 14-hour days. And I still think it's strange that one of these things could happen and I'd be like, okay, but for you to not realize you're on the wrong floor in your parking garage, you're on the wrong floor of your apartment building, then you get to the door, and according to New York Times, there's this red mat, that mat was there. And so you don't realize that you're not at your apartment when you see a distinctive red mat in front of the door, then your key doesn't work. That's 4 things. You still don't realize that it's not your apartment. I have a hard time processing that and understanding it. But at the same time, I don't think this woman woke up that day and say, I'm going to kill somebody. I'm going to go out and find a black guy to kill. So it probably was a really egregious mistake. She did go to the wrong apartment, but at the same time, you don't get you were off duty. You don't get the protections. You don't get to stand behind the fact that you're a police officer and get special treatment. And that's what's happening in that case right now. She wasn't arrested for 3 days. Mm-hmm. Any other person, you go into someone's home and you shoot and kill them in their home, they're putting cuffs on you.
Absolutely.
And you're walking away in cuffs. And that did not happen with her. So from that moment, I knew she's getting special treatment. She's getting preferential treatment. And that's a problem.
So what can happen to her? Let's say everything she said was true. It was an accident. She walked into the wrong apartment, but somebody still died. What could happen to her?
Assuming all of that is true, she should still be charged with murder. It was when she fired the gun, that was an intentional act. That is murder.
So not manslaughter?
I think that manslaughter is not a strong enough charge in this case because it wasn't a reckless shooting. The shooting was intentional.
True.
Was she reckless in the fact that she went in his apartment? Yes, that was the reckless act. The shooting itself wasn't reckless. And I think she should be charged with murder.
Do you feel her account of what happened was self-serving? Like she said that she walked to the apartment and gave him verbal commands to stop.
You don't get to give somebody verbal commands in their home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're so disoriented that you don't know where you are, but you're able to follow police protocols, what you're saying. But up until that point, you're so disoriented, you don't know anything. Mm-hmm. Of course it's self-serving. The entire story has changed to be self-serving, but that's what we see happen in a lot of police shootings, especially when it comes to unarmed black people, because police officers don't get convicted for shootings. Mm-hmm. By and large. There was that one case in Dallas that just happened. The police officers were Oliver. Mm-hmm. He was just convicted. That was the first conviction in 45 years in Dallas. Mm. They don't get convicted for shooting people. So she's going to take her chances and go to trial.
From a legal standpoint, is it too early to tell the probable outcome of that case?
From a legal standpoint, I can say that our laws are not designed to convict police officers for shootings under any circumstances. So, even in that case, I think it's still based on the law, an uphill battle, and even though she was off duty.
Yeah, can you even give verbal commands when you're off duty?
No. I mean, I guess, in her capacity, she could always be acting under the color of the law, because a police officer, I mean, if you see something going on, let me back up for a second. So if you're a police officer and you see someone breaking the law, can you you can go in and say, show your badge. I'm a police officer. Yes, gotcha. You can do that. But this is not one of those situations. This is someone who is in their home minding their own business. You don't give verbal commands to a person minding their business in their house.
Right. You don't sound objective about this one at all, Judge.
Because
I would hate to be in front of you if I was her.
I mean, don't you think this is, of all the shootings we've seen, this is the most egregious?
It's one of them.
I mean, so that's why I feel the way I do about this. This is crazy.
And then the
preferential treatment. And he fits to and because we always this annoys me when we see when cases happen, and because people start describing, he was a straight A student and he never been in any trouble. It shouldn't matter.
Shouldn't, right.
Because if you are innocent and you haven't done anything, it doesn't matter if you are a pastor or a prostitute. If you're not supposed to be killed in that moment, if you haven't done anything to warrant someone shooting you, it doesn't matter. But this guy, if you want to check those boxes, I mean, he worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers. Mm-hmm. He was a member of his church. He was the poster child for because people always say, well, don't run, don't break the law, and they won't shoot. He didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm. So if you were the judge on this case, would you sentence her?
Absolutely.
So murder in the first degree, you'd send her away.
I think it's second degree.
Second degree.
Mm-hmm.
Second degree gets you what time? 15
I think in Texas it may be 15 or 25 to life.
You'd give it that?
Yes. He doesn't get another day.
His life, his family doesn't.
He doesn't get another day.
Yeah.
So as tragic of an accident, because when you decide to carry a gun, there's a responsibility that goes with that.
True indeed.
And you take a risk every time you decide to pull it out and shoot it. And this time it was a horrible, egregious mistake, and someone lost their life they shouldn't have.
I see you repping Miss America 2019.
I just got back from the pageant. Mm-hmm. It was just this past weekend.
How was the pageant?
It was great. I feel like, there's Miss America and then there's every other pageant. For me, Miss America is totally different. These women are scholars. They're in school They are doing tremendous work in their communities. This whole debate about the swimsuit competition, that's such a minor part of what that program is about.
There is no swimsuit.
There was no
right?
swimsuit competition this year. And I paid for my entire education in 3 years competing in Miss America. I won, probably more money than most. But in 3 years, I paid for my entire education. And me even being in the program, it's not like I grew up doing pageants. I didn't have any money. And me being in the program, it come on the heels of me experiencing the biggest rejection and hurt I'd ever experienced in my life. And I was just looking for something else to do. I was,
You always get a little teary eyed when you talk about being rejected.
I wasn't
in the Miss America pageant.
Do I?
Just a little.
Well, this is a little different though. I was in school at Louisiana Tech, and I was a sophomore at the time. I knew nothing about pageants and never competed. And this predominantly white school, and I was just a regular student, just going to class, doing my little organizations. But I really wanted to have more black friends, more black female friends, especially. So I decided to go out for a sorority. And I went to the meeting for the sorority. It was small, because this is a white school, so not a large membership here. So like 7 girls. And I was one of the only 2 that they rejected and didn't vote to get in. It was true. It's a true story. And at the time, I was so hurt because I'm like, these are my people.
You want a bond? It happened to him too.
So I was rejected. So you understand.
I wasn't rejected.
Yes, you were. Stop lying.
Well,
he hates all Kappas to this day.
I wasn't rejected. Actually, my grade, I had to pass a test. I had to have an 81, and the teacher gave me a 79.
Oh, so you didn't meet the qualifications.
Well, you had to say it like that, but I didn't make the qualifications.
If you bring a cane in here right now, he'll start crying.
But
listen, but you understand at the time how hurtful that was. I was so young, and that was so hurtful to me. And I was just like,
laughing.
What? I was like, what? And so anyway, then I had applied for a job in the dorm, same semester. I was a resident assistant in the dorm. I don't want to say what sorority.
I don't even want to shout him out.
It's AKA, but go ahead. AKA. Don't worry, they lost a good one. Don't worry. Goodness
gracious. So let me tell you, that was a bad semester.
Whatever that call is.
Ski-wee.
Yeah.
I didn't say which sorority. Y'all said that. So that was a rough semester for me. But then I was walking in the student union one day, and they had a sign up for Miss Louisiana Tech University, the college pageant, and at the bottom in small print, it said the winner would win free tuition, a full ride for a whole year. And that's when I decided, I should do this. So what happened is I won Miss Tech the night I competed and became the first black woman to win that title. And it changed my whole life. All because the sorority that I wasn't let into.
Didn't take you.
And so I was like, it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
God.
It's the best thing that ever happened to me because it changed my whole life that semester.
Well, they always say trust the things that God blocks in your life.
Yes. So every time something happens now in my career, I think about that semester and that story because my plan was not big enough. God's plan was so much bigger and so much better, and I'm so grateful.
We thank you for joining us.
And follow her, she said, at Judge Faith Jenkins.
Yeah.
We came here to get her Instagram followers up again. All right?
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Hey everybody, it's DJ MV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk R. Kelly.
Listen up. This just in. All the gossip. The Rumor Report. Gossip. With Angela Yee.
It's the Rumor Report.
The Breakfast Club.
Well, I was looking at Vibe.com and Unwind with Tasha K, and they have an interview with R. Kelly's brother, Kerry Kelly. And one of the things that he talks about in this interview, amongst many other things, like he talks about how he feels that R. Kelly got worse after losing his mother and Aaliyah. And he also says that he confronted him about going after little girls. And he said he believed that R. Kelly was trying to get some help. He said, Robert has a control problem. The only reason why he targets little girls, now that I'm older, I understand he was molested. I was molested too, but I didn't turn out that way. Now, he also said that R. Kelly, and he accuses him of sexually abusing their 14-year-old cousin. Here's what happened.
I believe she was 14.
Did he have sex with her?
Yes.
And this is his cousin?
Yes, he did.
Is this his cousin? Which family member is this?
Cousin.
There are rumors out there that there's a baby by R. Kelly, her own cousin.
I can't say that. There hasn't been any DNA or anything done.
All right. Well, that's a crazy rumor to have out there. Now, R. Kelly was supposed to have a show in New York, but that show has been canceled because of Hurricane Florence.
There's no hurricane here. What do you mean?
Well, I guess they were saying it's going to be hard for them to get the production and everything over here from South Carolina.
Are people still trying to convince themselves about R. Kelly, though? Like, the evidence isn't overwhelming at this point? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I guess, it's still more allegations. I mean, he's still on tour. People are still going to the shows, right?
Tank's opening up for him, right?
No.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Tank's a brave man. Okay.
Oh, Tank. All right. Stormy Daniels is writing a tell-all book. It's called Full Disclosure. She's the porn star who sued Donald Trump over that hush agreement to keep her silent about their sexual encounter. She said there will be new details in that book that the public hasn't heard yet. She said everybody knows that a lot of the 60 Minutes interview was cut down for time. And there are things that I said in my interview that I really wanted people to know that are very important to me that I didn't get to say.
I thought she got paid to be quiet.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. She got $130,000 hush payment, and she's talking. So
that's good.
I guess they could sue. Who knows?
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it. She comes out with this book. She's already violated the NDA. We know she got some book advance money, and when she sells some books, you hit her with the lawsuit.
Yeah, I need all that money, man.
That's all.
All right, but I guess the bigger picture is her exposing
all that information.
Yeah. Now, Michelle Obama, speaking of books, is going to be doing her book tour. She said, "Join me on my book tour." The website is becomingmichelleobama.com. She said, "I went to Princeton and Harvard. I'm from the South Side of Chicago. I'm a wife, a mother, a daughter, and a sister. I've been a lawyer, a nonprofit leader, a hospital executive, and First Lady of the United States. I like to call these my stats." And she said, "Where are you from? What do you do? What school did you go to? As I've written my memoir, Becoming, I spent a lot of time thinking about my story, mining it for the kinds of details I'd usually just brush off or even forget about." So you can go and check her out on tour. If you want to see where those dates are, go to becomingmichelleobama.com.
When does her book drop?
Her book comes out September 21st. And if you are going to go and see her, on her book tour,
hope to get her out the way. Please.
You can actually get a Ticketmaster verified fan sale through September 18th and get an access code that will get you pre-sale tickets as well. So you can check her out on tour.
I'm definitely reading Becoming, though.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait for that one.
Surprised I don't have it already.
All right, Lil Wayne. He has a Billboard interview that's out, and in this interview, they're talking about a lot of different things. He was the best man at 2 Chainz' wedding, even though you saw how he was dressed at the wedding. But he said everybody was like, "You got a speech?" I didn't know I was supposed to have one. But his daughter had a speech. The bride's mom had a speech. His mom had a speech, and all 3 of them was awesome. The daughter killed it, though. She's going to be speaking for somebody one day, he said. He also talks about when he was 12, coming across a gun in his mother's house and shooting himself in the chest, just missing his heart. Now, before he's called this an accident, you've heard him talk about it on songs, but on a new verse, he admits that it was a suicide attempt after his mother told him that he would no longer be allowed to rap. That track samples Sampha's song Indecision, and it will be the album's outro.
Oh, that's the twist of this story. Because I was sitting there wondering, why is this news all of a sudden again? Like, I've heard this story a million times, but he tried to kill himself.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Because his mom told him he couldn't rap. Now, for you guys that can't wait for the Carter 5 album to come out, check out what Lil Wayne had to say in this Billboard interview.
My next project, hopefully it's amazing to everyone else as amazing it is to me. I put a lot into it. It's been a long time coming. The fans' patience is amazing in the song, so just to give them something, and hopefully that something is more than they was expecting.
All right, so everybody's waiting for the Carter 5. It's taking such a long time.
Yeah, see, the bad part about it is it's a lot of expectation for that album because it took so long. Exactly. So when you say things like, I hope people get what they expected, they've been waiting a long time for that album. Expectation is too high.
Yeah, but we also know it was all kinds of legal drama, so it's not like he didn't want to put it out.
Just do a new album. Like, the album is, maybe 10 years old, 8 years old?
Or maybe he's, keeping some things, changing some things. Who knows?
It's like Dr. Dre's Detox. He could never live up to the hype at this point.
Well, he's also now the sole owner of Young Money. So that's part of his settlement with Cash Money Records. He is now the full sole owner of Young Money.
That's good, man. Maybe finally we'll get that Lil Twist album the street's been waiting for.
Well, the album's supposed to come out September 21st, so that's next week. So maybe you'll
Lil Twist?
Lil Wayne.
No, Lil Wayne now, man. Look at you all excited.
I got excited.
Lil Twist.
I saw you did a little twist when you said Lil Twist.
Definitely did.
All right, I'm Angela Yee, and that's your Rumor Report.
All right. Listen for that keyword. We could possibly be flying to New York to Powerhouse NYC. We'll give you sweet tickets. You get to check out your favorite artists like Cardi B, Lil Baby, and more. So keep it locked. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Mix is up next and happy. Hey, wait. it's Nas's birthday, man. Happy birthday to Nas.
Oh.
We're going to do a Nas
Drop
mix.
one of Clues Bombs for Nasir Jones.
I woke up early on my born day.
Let me know your favorite Nas joint. We'll get it on in the mix. It's the Breakfast Club Revolt. Sorry. See y'all Monday. Peace.